But you know what? If you've had a knee replacement, you know what I'm talking about. And I got to be honest with you, I was really proud of myself because it was very painful. It was one of the most painful things I've been through in my life, and I got through it. And I was really proud of myself. And I said, you just got through something that's probably the worst pain of your life. 2 days later, I got a kidney stone. Turns out I was wrong. Oh, man, I would not wish this pain on the devil himself. 2:30 in the morning, I'm in an emergency room crying like a little girl, ripping holes in the sheets of the bed. Because if you've had one, you know what I'm talking about. It's like the most debilitating thing that you can go through. And I'm just like going, ah, ah. And this nurse goes, well, now you know what it's like to go through childbirth. And I said through my tears, well then, ma'am, y'all are stupid. If this is what childbirth's like, there'd be no kids. And then they gave me a little shot of something called Dilaudid. Why is this not in every candy section of every grocery store? My brother-in-law said, you went from crying like a little girl to all of a sudden going, so, what's your name? So I go to see my urologist, and he goes, yeah, you got a kidney stone. I said, so what happens? I just pass it? And he goes, well, normally that's what would happen. He said, but Bill, you have a very small urethra. How do you even respond to that? I said, well, you know what, Doc? It's kind of cold in here. He's like, sir, that has nothing at all to do. There's 3 things in life a man never wants to hear. You kiss like a dog, you throw like a girl, and you have a very small urethra. So I said, so what's going to happen? He goes, well, we're going to do this little procedure where we're going to insert a tube up through your wiener. There's 4 things in life a man never wants to hear. And inserting a tube in your wiener is numero uno. He said, what we'll do is we'll put that tube up there, then we'll take the laser and we'll stick it up there and we'll blast the stone. He said, you'll be sedated. And I said, yes, I will. As a matter of fact, I want to be so sedated that I see that light and I want to walk into it, all right? So they do the procedure. They bring me out of anesthesia, and I said, did you get the stone? And he goes, Bill, I have never had this happen in my medical career. And I'm like, oh, please don't tell me you lost your wedding ring up there. He said, no. He said, your urethra is so small, we couldn't even get the laser up there to blast the stone. He said, is this hereditary? I don't know. Me and Pops never had that chat. Well, son, you're 21. It's time you learn about the Engvall family curse. Oh, we've all had small urethras. In fact, your great-granddaddy Max Engvall, he toured with Ripley's Believe It or Not. His was so small. So I said, so what happens now? And he goes, well, we put a stent in there to spread your urethra. Leave it in there for 2 weeks. We'll go back in and get the stone. So for 2 weeks, I have this stent. I go back in. They put me under. I come out, and they go, we got the stone. I said, thank God. And he said, you can pull the stent out in a couple days. I'm sorry, what? He said, yeah, you can just pull the stent out. And I go, what am I paying you to do? It's like going to a restaurant and going, yeah, I'll have the steak and lobster. And they go, well, there's the kitchen, go cook it. I said, dude, I'm a comedian. I don't know how to pull a stent out. He goes, you will. And he leaves the room. And I look under the sheet, and without being too graphic, I have a thread hanging out of my wiener. even so. When I do shows, part of my responsibility is I do radio interviews. So I'll wait for the radio station will call me, we'll do an interview, we'll pump up the show. And invariably, it was what happened. So I was waiting one morning for the radio station to call, and I'd had like 3 cups of coffee, and I had to pee. And I've gotten to that age, and some of you guys my age and older know this, that we're at that age that when your body says, I gotta pee, it's not like I gotta pee in a couple hours. It's like, find a bathroom now. True story, y'all, true story. We were driving from Denver. You know where Little America is? Okay, we were one exit away. Again, Gail had said, I need to stop at Little America because I got to pee. I said, all right, fine. We got one exit away, and I whipped off the side of the road and had to pee on the side of the road because I couldn't make it another exit. So I'm waiting for the radio station to call, and I know what's going to happen. As soon as I set my phone down and go to the bathroom, they're going to call. So I take the phone with me into the bathroom. And I'm peeing, and they call. So I can't flush the toilet because I'm in the bathroom, and they'll hear it. So I'm doing the interview and just talking, and I go, hey, I'm looking forward. It's going to be the greatest shows, the last 2 shows in Salt Lake. It's going to be awesome. Y'all get some tickets. Come on out. We're having New Year's Eve together. And they go, well, Bill, we're really thrilled you're in your tour there in Salt Lake City, and you're going to have a blast. People are going to come out. We'll get everybody out there. And Gail walks in to the bathroom. And she looks at the toilet and reaches down and flushes the toilet. I'm looking at her like, what are you doing? She goes, there was pee in the toilet. That's disgusting. Flush the toilet. I go, I'm doing an interview. And she knew she was wrong because she ran out. Well, now I got the dilemma. Did they hear me flush the toilet? Should I address it, or should I just skate over it and act like nothing happened? I figured that's the best option. So I kept doing the interview, and they said, all right, well, we'll talk to you next time, Bill. I said, listen, thank you guys for putting it on the air. You guys have always been big supporters, and I really appreciate it. They go, Bill, we love you to death. And I said, well, thanks a lot. And they go, hey, don't forget to wash your hands. But there was a good thing that came out of COVID. Some of you who may follow me on social media may know this. I actually went back to college and got my degree. Yeah. Only 46 years later. So if you got a kid on the 5-6 year plan, relax. Yeah, I just got tired of being the only person in our family didn't have a degree. And also because the first time I went to college, it did not go well. When my son was, 5 or 6 years old, I gave him a pocket knife for his birthday. It was just a little Swiss Army knife. It wasn't anything big. And any guy in this room will tell you that when your daddy gives you a pocket knife for your birthday, that's more than a gift. That's a rite of passage. You've moved from boyhood to manhood. And like I said, it was just a little Swiss Army knife. He was having a great. Well, everything was fine. Till one day, Gail's looking out the kitchen window, and she sees our boy and his best friend jumping up and down the trampoline. My son's got the knife blade out. And she's like, no. You got to take that away. I said, no, you can't take it away. It's like a rite of passage. It'll break his heart. She goes, well, you better do something because I'm not calling that other kid's mom, telling him he got stabbed because we let him jump up and down the trampoline with a knife. And I said, all right, I got it. So I walk out there and I said, hey, buddy, I said, I got an idea. I go, look, can I just see your knife? Because I thought, here's what I'll do. I'll take his knife. I'll go out in the garage. I'll cut the blade of the knife off, give him the rest of the knife back. He don't care. He's 5 years old. Have you ever tried to cut the blade off a knife? Well, for those of you who have not, let me tell you something. It's like made of steel. I'm in the garage with pliers aren't working, wire snips aren't working. I go, I need a pair of bolt cutters. So I put the knife in my pocket, drove over to the Home Depot to get a pair of bolt cutters. But they want $50 a pair. Yeah, I think that's a little overpriced. I mean, I only need it for one job. I know what I'll do. I'll just borrow their bolt cutters. I'll slip off behind the lumber section there, snip that blade off that knife, put the bolt cutters back, give my son his knife back. Everybody's happy. I'm in the corner of the Home Depot, hiding behind the plywood with a pair of basically stolen bolt cutters. And I'm squeezing on the blade of that knife, and I'm squeezing. I heard dink, and I went, ow, God. And I look, and the blade has flown into my shoulder. My shirt is soaking with blood. I'm like, what the hell? And I can't pull the blade out. I've seen those TV shows. Yeah, where a guy's got a knife sticking at him, he's just fine till some jackass pulls the blade out and then he bleeds out right there. And let's face it, it's not like I can go to the Home Depot manager and go, hey, dude, I gave my son a pocket knife for his birthday, and you know that's like a rite of passage. But my wife saw him jumping up and down the trampoline with a knife blade out. Well, apparently that's a button push with her. Said, you got to take it away. I said, you can't take it away. It's like a rite of passage. She said, well, you better do something, because I'm not going to call that other boy's mom and tell him he got stabbed because we let him jump up and down the trampoline with a knife blade out. So I went into the garage. I tried pliers. They didn't work. Right? It's like made of steel. So I thought I went to Home Depot, get a pair of bolt cutters. They want $50 a pair. I think that's a little overpriced, don't you? I mean, I just want to borrow your bolt cutters. I don't need to buy the whole damn house. But, you know, I went behind the lumber sector with a pair of basically stolen bolt cutters, squeezed the blade off that knife, but it stuck me in the shoulder. I mean, I can't say that. So I just ran out of the Home Depot dripping blood the whole way. I get in my car and I drive to one of those urgent care centers that's like in a mall parking lot. Let me tell you something. When you walk into an urgent care center with a knife blade sticking out of you, they freak. Well, they're the earache, sore throat people. They don't see blood. I walked in with that knife sticking at me, and this lady goes, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. We have a bleeder. We have a bleeder. They throw me on this gurney. They're running me down the hallway, and y'all, I literally had this thought, oh, my God, Bill, have you finally done something so stupid you're going to die from it? They put me in this room, and in walks this Indian doctor, Dr. Bashar, who I still stay in touch with this day. But that day, he didn't know me from Adam. And he walked in and took one look at me and went, good God, man, what happened to you? Dude, I gave my son a pocket knife for his birthday, and you know that's like a rite of passage. But my wife saw him jumping up down the trampoline with a knife blade out. Well, apparently that's a button pusher. Her said, you got to take it away. I said, you can't take it away. It's like a rite of passage. It'll kill him. She goes, well, you better do something, because I'm not calling that other boy's mom telling me he got stabbed because we let him jump up and down the trampoline with a knife blade out. So I said, well, I know what I'll do. I'll cut the blade of the knife off. But good God, it's like made of steel. I tried pliers. They didn't work. Wire snips, they didn't work. So I thought I need a pair of bolt cutters. So I went to Home Depot to get a pair of bolt cutters. They want $50 a pair. I think that's a little overpriced, don't you? So I thought I'd borrow their bolt cutters, went behind the lumber section there, snipped that blade off that knife, but it stuck me in the shoulder. He goes, you are the dumbest man on the planet. He said, you're like that dog that chases the bird in the cartoons. I said, Wile E. Coyote. He goes, you are Wile E. Coyote. Don't let an anvil hit you in the head on the way out. It took him an hour and a half to sew me up. Not because the cut was very big, but because he kept laughing. And every nurse that would walk by, he'd go, please, please. You got to see the dumbest man on the planet. It's like he's making it up, but he's not. Then I had to go home and tell Gail why there's a $700 charge on our visa. And she's like, what is wrong with you? I go, well, this is basically your fault. She goes, how do you figure that? I go, if you just let him jump up and down the trampoline, everything would have been fine. But no. You had to throw a big hissy fit. Now, look, I got a scar. Guess I won't be a model. Thanks.